Testing. There we go. Hey guys, let's try this again. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully you're hearing me now. If you are, go ahead and, say something if you feel so inclined. Anyways, to get started today, it's probably not gonna be a super long stream. We have some stuff I want to wrap up from last Saturday. We have this awesome life cast right here that we're going to be demolding. There's clay inside and foam inside. For those of you who were here watching, then you know how this was created. We're also going to be demolding this mold right here. Excuse me, sorry, my throat's all messed up. First off, I want to say, if you guys haven't had a chance, jump over to the Discord that we set up for Creatively Cursed. It's creatively_cursed, just like it is on YouTube. And if you guys could join and subscribe, that'd be super awesome. So without further ado, let's get this started. So just a little bit of a recap. We had a silicone life cast from our model Rocky. That we took about 2 weeks ago, and it's a hard plaster outer shell. We use plaster bandage. Then there is a little bit of this blue silicone you see that we use to pick up all the detail. Once she was pulled out on this last Saturday, I poured liquid clay that we had heated up inside, and we had rotocasted it around to create a few different layers of clay on the outer shell, but the inside. Then we backfilled it with hard polyurethane foam, which will hopefully give us a really nice clay positive that we can fix any manufacture errors. In a way, we can fix any of the problems, air bubbles, the bald cap, whatever the case may be. So first thing we have to do is to open this up. Before I do that, though, I am going to want to cut off this excess foam. You can see here, okay? Just try and cut it flat. So give me a second real quick. I'm going to grab a hacksaw, and we're just going to quickly hack off pretty much as we don't need off of this before we pop it open, so that when I'm fighting with it, it's not falling all over the place. It'll be sitting flush, which is the goal. So give me 2 seconds. Looking for that hacksaw, guys. It's been a little bit all right, we're back. Hopefully the audio is working again. It seems to be. We'll see if it dies off again. So like I said, we're going to be hacking off this yellow extra hard foam that we don't need. So we have two different saws that we can use to do that. This one's nice and long, so I think I'm going to give this a try. Again, the main reason I'm doing this is just to kind of give myself a flat edge to rest this life cast upon. So and the foam is hard, but not so hard that you can't cut through it. So you can see, cut off a nice little piece of hard foam. We're just gonna put that over here. Conveniently, we have air hoses, so we're just gonna blow this dust out of the way over yonder. Fortunately, this foam stuff gets everywhere. Luckily, we don't have to do that again. You guys can't see it there because I'm not doing all 4K, but there's tons of this shit all around. So we have a flat a flat area now. Excuse me. So now we're just gonna take off the tape. I'll switch cameras. Maybe it's a little bit better of a view here. I'm just tearing the tape. We don't need to save it. So, yeah. And the audio went out again, which, oh no, it didn't. Look at that. It just keeps moving. So, tape, top piece of tape is good. We had put the tape on just to hold these two parts of the mold together during the rotocasting segment. So, yeah, we just use duct tape. The hope is that we'll be able to pull off these shells and then peel off the silicone without damaging the clay. So the clay is medium Chavant or medium NSP Chavant. So it should hold up pretty well to removing the clay, or removing the silicone, but I can't guarantee that. Yes, this is Rocky's head cast. We poured the clay in on Saturday, and now we're gonna take it apart. So this big chunk of clay you see up here at the top, that was just put on. Her ponytail was sticking out, and we just wanted to cover it. So yeah. You can see like that already came free. There might be some extra foam like this. This kind of just overflowed. You can break it off, get it out of the way, that's fine. And like I said, this stuff creates a ton of dust. So just a heads up. Kind of like when we popped it off of Rocky, we had to kind of pop off the shoulder parts first. So, and I remember it locking pretty well. So you can, if you need to, which I may, we'll see. Use pliers or flathead, but if you can keep the, hold on a second. If you guys can keep the plaster intact, that is an ideal situation. So voila. So the front half is off. I'll take that as a win. I have no idea how the rest of this turned out, but I'm going to take that as a win. Covered, I say, in this yellow foam. Not fun. So, camera one, you can see now that the silicone here, we still have to get this white piece off because the cut of where the silicone is runs up along the center of the back. So we need to get this off now. And now, just something else to keep in mind, this area is now exposed, okay? So if we can avoid it, we don't want to smash or hurt this because it doesn't have the protective shell on it any longer. So I'm trying to think of what might be the best vision for you guys to see this. Let's try, see what I can get here. I'm kind of holding it on an angle here. I'm just kind of pushing with my thumb like that. And my hand's right here. It's breaking free. The ponytail might give us a little bit of a hard time. I don't know. Oh, or not. Or it'll just come right out like that. Awesome. All right, shield yourself, guys. I'm going to blow myself off here. If you don't have one of these air compressors at home, you got to get one. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, the foam, the little tiny bits just get everywhere. So let's see how we did. So again, my biggest concern, which I think I can already feel it didn't pick up, which is really sad, but not the end of the world, which is the ears. She has really tiny ears, and even with that clay being so hot, I didn't have a ton of faith in it picking it up. So we'll just start to kind of peel away. And here, let's switch that again. Just going to start peeling away. Now this is clay. Everything you guys are going to be seeing here is clay. The foam is on the inside, behind the clay. And we're just breaking that cut, that seam, that cut that we made. I mean, thus far, not totally, everything I'm seeing is not terribly sad. So I might have to go in here and see what we got. Yeah. Oh, well, we kind of got her ears a little bit. Yeah, mostly air bubbles, it looks like, unfortunately. From what I can tell anyways. Looks like we got some of her hair, too. Poor Rocky lost some of her hair. That's unfortunate. So let's go back here. Camera one. I'm going to try my best. I don't want to injure the face. It's mostly loose. Here we go. And that is how it's done. Mold. Interestingly enough, it looks like the life cast picked up some parts of the clay, but I mean, as a whole, this came out really well. Let me do a zoom in here real quick. So we want to do, let's do camera two, see what this bad boy can pick up. So I don't know how well you guys can see, But unfortunately, you know, we lost the ear. It's kind of there, but not really. But she had really teensy ears. Interesting, you can literally see all the detail picked up from her hair that was in the what I'm looking for, in the bald cap. You can see the wrinkles of the bald cap, whole 9 yards. So, but it's clay, so, excuse me, so we'll be able to go in and fix up all of the imperfections. We may try and do another one, maybe, if to pick up the ear detail, but I don't know that it's really necessary, to be honest. Most of the things we might sculpt on this are going to be maybe face appliances, or full head, either masks or cowls, things along those lines, at which point you don't need the, excuse me, the ears as much. We could always take a snap mold of just her ears, and then that way we would have that. Now, I will go in, so the next step, we're not going to do it today, because it'll take time. Going in and filling all these cracks from where the clay layered on top of itself and a few air bubbles here and there. It's going to take some time to go in and clean all that up, because of course the other point of this is to not damage the sculpture too much, because we want the appliance to match her face as much as possible. But there are certainly areas that can be smoothed out, and that'll be time. That'll probably be a whole stream or two at least, just working on that alone. Plus, we'll want to finish this off all really nice. Then we're going to make a matrix mold, which is essentially a reverse, far more strategic version of what we did before, which is just planned out thicknesses of silicone all around here with a fiberglass backing that will allow us to reproduce as many of these as we wanted to do. So, yeah, all things considered, I think it came out pretty nice. It's a little creepy. I never realized how teensy her head is. I mean, her ears have always been small, but that's crazy. So, like I'd mentioned, this is going to be a pretty short stream. I wanted to go over this. I didn't want this sitting in the mold any longer than it needed to. It would have potentially created problems getting it out if it had. So I wanted to pop that for sure, and I wanted to show you guys the other aspect of what we did on Saturday, which is this other mold that we made. So I'll post some better pictures up close of this so you guys can see what work lies ahead of us. Just interestingly enough, another thing to point out, have you ever seen like, you know, severed heads and things like that in horror movies where the main actor is, you know, there's a replica of that main actor for a fake head or things along those lines. This is generally how they'll do it, mainly because, again, I can go in now and sculpt. I can modify the existing shape and sculpt it to be whatever I want. If I wanted to cut the head off and create a severed head sculpt and mold that, I could do that. If I wanted to zombify her, where I take off half her jaw and have it hanging down, or whatever the case may be, I can start with this. Not always necessary, but it is a good place to start. Now, another option could be, and we may do this, which is we take that same mold that this came out of and we pour a plaster version, whether that's Ultracal 30 or a Hydrocal base, and that will likely pick up more detail. It's thinner than the melted down Chavant clay, and it will likely pick up all the detail. So if we really wanted to go that route, we could. But for now, Baki's Life cast is done. I'm going to put this off to the side real quick, and then, yeah, and then we'll move on to the next part. Move these out of the way. This is the mold we made, if you remember, from Saturday when the degasser shat out on us. It's hard clay in there. Turn it and have you guys look inside. So, excuse me. Okay, so yeah, let's get started with that. Now, this is actually the really fun part because um, the hard part was building that clay wall, then building these walls around it. But the easy part is really just ripping these off and pulling the clay that we made the wall right off. It takes like no time. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you exactly. So we're just going to pull this off. If you remember, we used ME301, which was an aerosoled Vaseline to mold release these cardboard pieces. If we hadn't done that, likely the silicone would have embedded itself into the cardboard, making what I'm doing right now a little bit more tedious. Wouldn't have ruined anything, just helps keep clean mold walls. The life cast was, yeah, a splash coat of medium NSP Chavant, yes. So as you can see, I don't know, looks like you might be able to see, if I move it closer, kind of. So right here, you can actually see all this gray, that's the silicone, and then you can see there's another line there, there's some clay. That's that wall we built. So if you remember the whole process that we did, it was, you know, we had our items, we made a wall of clay surrounding the items, then we built up walls around it, and then we poured silicone in. The silicone is the gray part that you're seeing right here. So now, let me grab a spatula real quick, just in case, but I think we might want it. Okay, so I would just rip this off, and you could. You do run the risk of leaving the items you're molding behind. Remember, we split them in half, so half of them are being represented inside the silicone. By some chance, if we were to misjudge it and just rip this off too quickly, depending on how well the clay is stuck to this board, it could hold the pieces in there. So, all right, here we go. Let's do this. And it did exactly, even being careful, it did exactly what I was afraid of it doing. But it's not the end of the world. Okay, so now we have an empty board. This is all that clay that we laid down. We had these pieces, we laid the clay down around them, and this is the clay now. So you notice, nothing likes to stick to silicone. That's another rule, another little tidbit of information. Generally speaking, even silicone doesn't like to stick to silicone, which is really unfortunate, but just as a heads up. So it's kind of cool. This came out in one piece. If you see, you know, basically what we're about to create is the other version of this, which is this. So imagine you'll end up having a gray chunk of silicone, just like this bad boy right here, that's going to go on and create a mold. So we're not going to do that today. I wanted to pop these things. I wanted to pop that life cast so that you guys could see it right now. Maybe post a little video in a little bit, but I wanted to show that, you know, these projects need to move forward. You can't have them sitting around. If you do, any number of bad things can happen. The clay, like for example, in this situation, the silicone over a long enough period could start to absorb the oil of the clay. You don't want that. Everything gets harder. The peeling off of the cardboard, doesn't matter what it is, it gets a little bit more difficult. So I just wanted to go over those things here. So again, let me see if I can show a kind of a better close-up of this. It doesn't look like much, totally doesn't, but you know, this actually already came out, so I'll just show you. So that. So if you remember, these are the teeth. You can check it out in my last stream. And that is the negative of the teeth in there. I have like the worst lighting to show this right now. Hold on. that show it any? I'm trying to like play to the camera, but it just ends up being in a freaking shadow. But anyhow, there's teeth, and we have the negative there. This is just going to sit right back in there. We push it into place, and then we mold the back half. So we can replicate these, the top and the bottom of the teeth, as many times as we want, likely out of resin. So let me clean this stuff up. So yeah, I just wanted to take a few minutes. Like I said, this was a really short stream. Barely, not even really a half an hour with all the audio problems. But if anything, that can go to show, um, you know, how quickly you can kind of move along in these process. Unfortunately, you do have to wait sometimes for the silicone to set up, for the clay to cool, whatever the case may be. But it's I couldn't have these sitting around in the molds anymore. I know I've said that a million times, but it's something that you should take to heart. Make sure you never do with your projects either. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to have, like I said, at least a couple streams likely into this, cleaning up all the detail work. We'll probably have another stream into just making the other half of this mold, or maybe I'll, you know what, don't even wait for a stream to do this, because this is going to be like 2 seconds. We're going to just literally take a cardboard, build up another wall, pull more silicone in, and blam, we're done. I might take a video of it and post it on YouTube. We'll see how things go. But for those of you who swung by, I really appreciate it. Again, if you guys could go ahead and throw me a follow on YouTube. That's creatively_cursed. And please come join our Discord. We're really looking for, and I don't mean just me, I mean, all of us are looking for a place where, in this day and age, tons of digital artists out there, where a place where a bunch of IRL artists can get together and talk about their work. Post your work, photography, illustration, sculpture, special effects, makeup, I don't care. Just come join, give people the knowledge that you've gained, help other artists grow. So yeah, that's creatively_cursed. That's the Discord as well. So again, thanks guys for watching. I'm gonna shut this down and let the ending screen play. Please, if you see the social media of your choice on my ending screen, please jump over and give me a follow. I would greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week, guys. I'll talk to you later.